Hello everybody, I'm Daniel Gotera at NRG Stadium recapping a 17-13 Texans victory over the Saints in their first preseason game. Look, it's a preseason game, I get that, but it moved along rather quickly. There were no major injuries, and the Texans saw some progression, especially out of the young players that they hope to be key pieces of this team, not only for this year, but for many years moving forward. Let's start with the quarterback, though, Davis Mills. He wasn't there for the first two series of the game, 3 for 3, 14 yards. Conservative play calling with Pep Hamilton while he was in there. Now, yes, it was conservative, but keep in mind, the Texans did not have Laramie Tunsil on Saturday night. They did not have Justin Britt. Brandon Cooks was out. So some of the main pieces, some of the main starters were out of this one. But, you know, I thought Davis was okay for when he was in. Marlon Mack got the start at running back. And then the Texans moved on from there. Defensively is where they kind of made an impact, forcing a couple of turnovers. Agwo Ogoronkwo, the kid out of A.B. Taylor, he's here with the Texans now, first-year player. He picked up a fumble recovery. And then Jalen Petrie, the rookie safety out of Baylor, that's one of the players that I mentioned off the top that made an impact. He was pretty good out there in the defensive snaps that he took. Seemed like he's got a knack for being around the ball. And afterwards, he said he had a good time. We'll hear from him in a few. The other guy that made a huge impact was Dameon Pierce, the running back out of Florida. We've been talking about him all camp long, and I'm sure you folks that have watched these recaps are like, oh my gosh, is this the only player that Daniel talks about? Well, it was for good reason, because he got out there and was running hard, running downhill, running through the tackles, and he got his opportunity and he took advantage of it. He was great. 5 carries, 49 yards, limited action, but you saw what he could bring to this team. So, enough yammering from me. Let's hear from the players, the coaches, about this victory. First preseason game in the book, 17-13 over the Saints.
Anytime they keep score, you want to win. Kind of simple as that. But there's a lot more that we would like to get accomplished in these preseason games. You know, we don't scrimmage against people or anything like that. So we haven't actually done an awful lot of live work, finishing. You know, defensive players being able to tackle, hitting the quarterback, ball carriers getting tackled and thrown to the ground. So all that's good, and that's what you kind of use this first game for a little bit. You know, we've talked an awful lot about, you know, showing up first. I like the crowd that came out to see their team. But when you show, once you show up, you got to show out, you got to make some plays. For young players that know that they're going to get a limited amount of opportunities, when you get it, you need to make yourself known. So that's what was good. And that's what's always good about the preseason. You give guys an opportunity, and they show you something that you haven't seen. As I say, you've been in our practices. We don't do a lot of live work, so I was anxious to see some of the young players when it's live.
It felt good, man, just, being back out there with everybody. It was great energy. Felt good being back in front of the fans and just being able to be out there again, man, playing football. So, getting those jitters out the way and just getting back comfortable. And so I feel like we all did a good job just getting our feet wet again and, let's look forward to building on it next week.
Forcing some turnovers, after the ball a little bit. What would you like from a defensive perspective?
Man, I felt like we really focused on what we've been emphasizing our camp, getting to the ball. And as you see, turnovers, it correlates to wins for the most part, especially when you win a turnover battle. So I feel like we all did a good job of that. So.
Felt comfortable going out there, kind of picking up where we left off with training camp. Now we're kind of onto the real stuff, onto the games, and comfortable out there. Obviously, would have liked to put together some longer drives, but felt like I handled everything well. Saw the defense, thought we executed well. Overall, we ended up with the win tonight. The full team put together enough to get the win, and that's all we care about. Every rep of experience out there will benefit me. This is still the first preseason game. We have 2 more after this. I'm sure I'll get more playing time the next one and then even the following one leading up to the first game of the season. But, it's tough. Tough not getting all the reps, but, we have a lot of guys who are right now fighting to make this team and who are contributing and have contributed that are go out and get their chance. And, everyone played well, and, they're doing the same thing we are out there, trying to make a living and put some points up on the scoreboard. So it's exciting getting to see all those guys get a chance to go out there and perform.
Man, I had some fun out there with my teammates. It was good to, be playing against another team, and I feel like we moved in the right direction.
What were you feeling like before the game, just going out there for the first time? Were there some normal nerves going in, or how did you feel?
Not really. I just try to keep it very simple. Read my keys and do what I need to do. I just wasn't trying to think too much of it, just playing football.
Next up, the Texans have a short week. They travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams on Friday night. Will we see Derek Stingley Jr. in that game? We did not see him in this game. Remember, the team is managing his reps and managing his time out there on the field given his injury history. Will we see some of the other starters? Davis Mills will likely go a little bit longer, maybe play a whole quarter, a couple of more series, maybe open up the playbook just a little bit more to see what Davis has with this new Pep Hamilton scheme. I'm anxious to see it. Hey, first preseason game in the books. It's actual football. They're not hitting each other anymore. They're hitting another team. I know the guys enjoyed it. They had a good time out there, picking up a 17-13 victory over the New Orleans Saints. That's going to do it from NRG Stadium. We'll be back with more Texans training camp coverage later in the week. Until then, see you later.